Hey guys, Phil Baumhard here. So for today's video, I'll be trying to make a knife out of a wrench. So with the big old ring on here, this is a 22 millimeter wrench. I don't use this for anything, so I'm going to use this to be my blade, but I can get my finger on here much like a Karambit, so I'm going to probably cut it down right about here, so that way I got enough room for my hand, and then another 4 inches or so of blade, because I don't want this to be too long. This is going to be kind of a EDC personal protection type of knife. So again, not going to be kind of the talon shape, that interior recurve of a traditional Karambit. It's going to be sort of Karambit style, I suppose you could say. Yeah, just a fun little project for myself. So we'll cut this down and see what I can make. Sort of screwed up the finger ring already. That's too bad. I was really just trying to bend it over, move it over. But anyway, so this edge right here, this will be the edge, I think. So I'll start trying to draw this width back out, and it'll kind of curve back the other way. I did kind of want this harpoon type shape, so we'll see how that works out. And then I was also trying to put a little bit of a step down where the handle's going to be, just to give me a visual separation between the handle and the blade. I'm trying to shift this knuckle ring over a bit without crushing the ring, so in between the heats I dipped it in some water. We're still getting a little bit of deformation, so it looks like it might have shrunk up a bit on me, so I might have to go back in and clean out some of those teeth with like a Dremel or something like that. But overall, you get the idea. That's the basic shape.
Alright,
So here's what the Karambit's looking like. I just sort of did some grinding to shape it up. So, you know, in that kind of Jason Knight style, I wanted a recurve there. We got a long, elongated point and kind of a harpoon tip with this little drop off there. So all that actually went according to plan, believe it or not. This got a little lopsided. I was really just trying to bend it over for a better kind of like knuckle striker, basically, if you wanted to use this for striking with your knuckles. But it does work for that. It fits good in the hand. So the blade ends there, so you can also grab it without having to put your finger in the ring. So, you know, all that went according to plan, so I like that. Edge is fairly thin, so I think I'm going to leave the grinding till after I've done the quench. But what I'm going to do right now is just sort of try to open up the ring hole here and grind down some of these wrench teeth, because they're really not necessary, and they just sort of for flipping it around, it just sort of slows down the flipping. Okay, well, I got the knife tempered, and I went over it with a wire wheel just to polish off all the fire scale and all that. So let's go ahead and put the edge on there. So like I said, this is all just basically forged to shape here. At least as far as the bevel is concerned, I did a bit of grinding just to shape the edge. So still got an 80 grit belt on here. So let's just try to put in a little bit of an edge bevel and sharpen this up. Alright, well, here's a finished look at the Karambit. It's a little bit rough and crude, but overall I really like it. Happy with the way it turned out. The blade shape is actually very close to what I was going for, with this kind of subtle recurve here, nice tapered point here, good for stabbing and thrusting, and this kind of trailing harpoon point. So very much in keeping with the Jason Knight style of knives. I purchased his Forge series and watched how to do his type of elemental knife, which is this blade shape, except on a much bigger scale, about 8 to 10 inches in blade length. So I wanted to try this in kind of a micro format just to try out some of those bladesmithing principles, and it worked out well. So everyone's going to have their own little opinion on how to make a Karambit or how a Karambit should be, but this is what I wanted to do. I haven't seen anything quite like this, so this is basically what I had in mind. So I wanted something that, you know, a Karambit is typically normally wielded in a reverse grip, so I wanted to be able to do that, and there's just enough room for my hand. There isn't extra room, so some people have said that the handle should be longer, but for me this is perfect. I don't have any extra handle length getting in the way. This is really all I need. I can still hold it in a normal grip with my hand around the knuckle ring there, so that's still comfortable. I can still use it like that. You put your pinky through this way like this. I like this kind of harpoon point where you can rest your thumb up here for you know, some sort of reinforced cut, but it just feels comfortable. I was trying to get this ring, the knuckle ring, to kind of come over more, so that when I held it, it was kind of a protrusion for the knuckle if I wanted to do some sort of punch. It actually kind of works out that way. It definitely is ugly. I didn't really have a proper horn to shape this on, and it was kind of tricky, but it was a good learning experience, so it doesn't bother me one bit. Again, I kind of wanted this to be like an actual EDC personal protection knife, and as such I actually do carry it. I've been carrying it since August. I've gone on a couple of road trips and the like, so worn it for long periods at a time, worn it all day on movie shoots. Other than knife making, I also make a living as a independent filmmaker, so I work as a grip and gaffer on different film sets, so there's lots of carrying stuff, moving around in and out of trucks, all kinds of scenarios, all kinds of locations, and so it's important for me that my tools are properly concealed, and I was actually able to do that with this one, and comfort is important. This is a big knife. This is a lot bigger than what I was kind of figuring out making when I set out on this project, but it actually works. I'm actually able to carry it. So here's the sheath that I made for it. I actually made 2 sheaths, but I didn't like this one so much. You can see all the sweat stains from carrying it, but this is kind of the one that I've been using lately. It holds the whole thing, and you can see it's kind of taking a weird S shape from being in my waistband. This goes around the belt. I carry this on my left side, so my offhand side, as it were. The initial idea with this slot was that it would go like the belt would weave through it, much like the Mountain Man style of sheath. And I still can do that, but again, that's outside the waistband, so not as concealable. So having this inside the waistband, super concealable, and it actually hugs pretty close to the body and is actually fairly comfortable for the most part. And so in the cutting test, I kind of wanted to play around with the different Karambit styles of fighting. So of course you have your typical reverse grip slash, and then also the kind of swinging attack where you have it on the knuckle and it's pivoting on the knuckle for that swing through, which you actually get quite a bit of power and momentum from that attack, and so that cuts really well. So that was neat to play around with that. But overall, nice little experiment, a lot of fun to make, pretty quick build as well. So if you want your own Blackheart Forge custom knife, check out the Etsy web store. I'm going to have a link in the description box. You can also follow Blackheart Forge on Facebook and Instagram and keep up with my latest and greatest work. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, be more Viking.